The Philosophy of the Vishnuh-Society, by Guru Bezar Lankar Ida Bagos. This is not an emotional outcry. It is a clear observation, drawn from logic and consistent reasoning. We live in a world that does not lack laws, treaties or moral declarations. What it lacks is consequence. Systems promise protection but often facilitate suffering. Religions preach morality but legitimize misery. Societies bring children into the world without a future, and call it God's will. This is the lie we refuse to accept. Overpopulation is not an accident, it is a failure to plan. Poverty is not fate, it is a consequence. Crime, exploitation, and child suffering do not happen despite systems, they happen within them. At the Vishnuh-Society, we choose a different path. Not out of superiority, but necessity. Not out of hostility, but self-preservation. We rely not on blind faith or laws, but on education, awareness, and boundaries. Logic matters, even when it makes others uncomfortable. We follow a simple principle: no more than 2 children per family, when possible. Growth is welcome, but it must be balanced. Every child is welcomed, and every life is supported. We prevent overpopulation because exceeding the capacity of humans, communities, and nature brings catastrophe, not only for the environment, but for social cohesion and human dignity. Across much of the world, this principle is ignored. Reproduction is treated as a moral or religious duty, not as shared responsibility. The result: children born without stability, education, or opportunity. A cycle of poverty, neglect, and hopelessness emerges. Religion often sanctifies reproduction while shirking responsibility onto fate, God, or later. Critical thinking is discouraged, nuance disappears, and rational policy is replaced by slogans and guilt. The consequences are stark: hunger drives youth toward crime. Girls fall into exploitation. Child trafficking, human trafficking, even organ trafficking, these are systemic, not accidental. Blaming individuals ignores cause and effect. Poverty, violence, and exploitation are the logical outcomes of unplanned reproduction and ideology. Detach reproduction from responsibility, and you do not create life, you create statistics. No human, only a number. This violates international norms. The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child guarantees protection, education, and opportunity for every child. Systems that fail to uphold these rights enable neglect and abuse. At the Vishnuh-Society, hypocrisy does not exist. We have no judges. We have no prisons. Children are taught from a young age: do no harm. Life is not property. Responsibility cannot be outsourced to a higher power. We monitor and guide behavior at the root, before it escalates. This is not idealism. It is logic. Raising awareness, and coercion becomes unnecessary. Our approach reflects preventive justice: prevent problems before they happen, rather than punish after the fact. Communities that teach responsibility and social awareness have lower crime, without needing prisons or harsh laws. Meanwhile, much of the so-called Western world measures success by conquest, exploitation, and accumulation, often justified as morality. This is not civilization. It is collective negligence, dressed as justice. We do not seek conquest or conversion. We protect our heritage against a world that legitimizes, facilitates, and perpetuates harm in the name of gods. We defend our values, not against people, but against harmful systems. This is not hostility. It is self-preservation. It is legitimate cultural and moral protection, setting boundaries, safeguarding values, and living responsibly. All legal systems fail if they lack ethical integrity, personal responsibility, and a rejection of harm justified by religion or ideology. Law alone is empty. We guide humanity toward truth. Misanthropes guide humanity toward chaos. We choose responsibility. We choose balance. We choose humanity. Thank you for listening.